everybody, happy Sunday. I hope that wherever you are and whatever you are doing, you are having a good weekend and you are not being bugged by flyy bitey things, which is what I am being bugged by right now as I film the chicken and garden update. It is just before 6 p.m. on Friday evening, and apparently the bitey flyy things are out in force. So I've been kind of busy since our last chicken and garden update. Obviously, I filmed that one 2 weeks ago and we had snow. We did have snow on Monday this week, which it's getting a bit late in the season for snow, but I had done some planting and nothing's come up yet. So here we've got some peas, I've got some broccoli here, I've got some more broccoli here, also some spinach, I've got some fava beans or broad beans here, and what did I put there? Sprouts, I think. Somewhere in all of that is correct. There's also some sprouting broccoli in there, I think. The garlic is doing incredibly well, which makes me happy. I need to pull those thistles out. And over here, my strawberries are doing well, as apparently are some more thistles, which of course I'm going to pull out. But the interesting thing is right here, because you've got some volunteer onions from last year that never grew, and now they're popping up because, you know, why not? My lemon balm is looking really good. My rosemary is doing well, and some of my other plants are doing well. I'm filming this 2 days before I'm heading out of the country for a week. So I'm not going to be able to do any gardening until I return. And I'm going to admit that makes me a little bit nervous. Hopefully, the day you're watching this, which will be Sunday, the day before I go, I will have done most of my packing and I might get out here and put some carrots in the ground and some other plants in the ground. But it's most likely that I'm not going to get a chance. The top priority for me, to be completely honest with you, is going to be to put my potatoes in the ground, because if I wait until I get back from abroad, my potatoes are going to be late, and I really don't want my potatoes to be super late, so I'm going to put them in. This got seeded not so long ago, and you can see some of the grass is starting to come up, but some of it is not. The chickens are very upset because they're not allowed out until the grass is seeded, and they're just very ticked off because, frankly, they've had enough. I also need to get some fresh water for them, which makes me think that maybe, just maybe, their waterer has started leaking, because I filled that up this morning and I think it's probably leaking, and that's bad because it means, yeah, I'm gonna have to go and buy another waterer. Those waterers are great, but they crack quite easily when we get cold weather, and we have had some cold frosts. So yeah, I'll give that some attention. There was definitely water in there this morning when I started my work day, so the fact there is none now, it kind of tells me everything I need to know. I have had some success though with the front of the garden. So my irises are coming up. Also, I've got some hyacinths coming up, and I also have some daffodils there. Everything is so late right now. It's really frustrating. But I do want to show you something over here that has kind of shocked me a little bit. So here, underneath this to protect it, are some fresh parsnips that I have sown. I did those a couple of weeks ago. But then if I wander over here, these, with the exception of this fellow who shouldn't be in there, these are parsnips that have grown that were planted a year ago. And I don't understand how these parsnips are coming back up, but they are. And I'm not going to complain, because parsnips, you know, I'm very happy that the parsnips are growing. Also, this is one of the lettuces that I planted last year, and it has come up. It survived the winter, so I'm just going to let it sit there and do its thing, because, hey, let's not make things, let's not discourage things from growing if that is what they want to do. Over here, we have the start maybe of some buds coming on the apple trees. And then if we come over to my cherry tree, this is exciting. Last year We had basically no cherries because we had all of our cherry trees came into bloom and then died because we had frost and snow. But these are cherry trees too, and I think some of those, yeah, there's definitely some buds coming in. So in about a week or so's time, probably just as I'm returning, we're going to see some beautiful shows there. Same thing here with my apple tree. Look at that, starting to get some flowers, and hopefully that means we'll actually get some proper actual fruit on the trees this year, because last year, it's the first year since I've lived here that we've had no fruit whatsoever. The rhubarb's doing great. I'm not going to show you because it's really messy and horrible and muddy there, but what I am going to show you is this. Now, if you've been watching the channel for a while, you'll know that we had wanted to put a new greenhouse together for this year. And we talked about building a greenhouse with some reclaimed bits and bobs and putting it up. However, because we had an unexpected expense, namely the water pump, some of the money that we'd earmarked for that had to go on fixing the water pump so we could have water. And so this greenhouse, which had died and had got very damaged in the winter, has now got a new cover. So I'm going to be transferring, before I head off abroad, I'm going to be transferring some of my plants into it to get them ready for outside. I'm going to wait until tomorrow, until Saturday, but you can already see it's increasing the temperature in here. So tomorrow I'll put some stuff out in here, and then I will start getting ready for, fingers crossed, my tomatoes, my cucumbers and some other things. I'm not going to plant my cucumbers, I don't think, before I leave. Maybe I will though. It does depend on how I do when it comes to packing and everything else. I'm kind of exhausted. I have drunk too much coffee this week. I feel like I've let everybody down because we've been very slow at pushing out videos this week, but that's because we've been traveling. So hopefully you'll all forgive me, and hopefully I'll get some time off and I can get in the garden, and hopefully not when the bitey fly things are around, because I'm being bitten quite severely right now. Anyway, on that note, we are done with today's video. If you have comments, drop us a polite note in the Discord chat room on Mastodon, or if you're a Patreon supporter, in the comments there. If you want more, subscribe, hit the bell, and follow the links to regularly support us with a YouTube channel membership or a Patreon subscription. You'll also find links to our Ko-fi, Bitcoin and Swag store, as well as that aforementioned Mastodon server. Scrolling on my right is a list of amazing charged up supporters, and shout outs go out to our self-driving tier supporters. They are Paul Nelson, Mike Weeder, Denny Hyde, Linda Irish, Lance Schall, Mark Eggleton, Cyprian Laplace, John Trammell, Alan Tupper, Chris Maxwell, Brian Newton, Bennett Elder, Andrew Martin, Sean Tucker, Pedro Miara Pinheiro, Kyle Hodgson, Tony Moss, Brophy Wolf, Kyle Fox, Hey Esker, Tazlet in the Gong, Dan Blair, Peter Dillinger, Gordon C, Stefan Fremgen, Stephen Williams, Regine Fellows, Chris Asenta and Jim Vaness. And finally, that was another fly, out of this world thanks to our top tier supporters: John L. Henderson, Clay Witch, CPU Freak 101, John Lyons, Kevin Burrowbridge, Andrew Glenn, Joe Hughes, Dave Kitchen, Joe Bresney, Nigel S., Matthew Drobnak, Eric Knack, Paul Conway, Stephen O'Donoghue, JP Fagerback, Reggie Watts, Marcel Ward, Robert Flannery, Aaron Hahn, Rory Litwin, Ellery Hensley, Will Graylin, and of course, Ian. Don't forget that we make videos every Monday, Wednesday and Friday, or at least try to, on the main channel. Ow, I'm being bitten. That's not nice. And of course, over here on Sunday on Take 2 for the chicken and garden update. And of course, the Sunday musing. I'm really frustrated. This is the time of year where everything looks wet and horrible and muddy and nothing's really growing in full yet. But I know in a couple of weekends' time, that will be changed. If you are feeling the same, I hope that the same change happens to you. And as always, keep evolving.